All eyes on the prize for G2 Gozen. This one starts for them on the defense, the Rebels on the attack, and they make themselves known nice and early.
Petra taking the angle through the legs of the KG turret, but just not wanting to go any further. Usually Petra plays on the jet, not this time round. It's handed it over.
G2 Gozen being proactive down B long as well. They're not going to quite catch sight of Shopify before they head towards A, but that's the big thing about the Killjoy pick as well. When you're not using it towards middle, there are gaps that can be made, and you've seen Shopify trying to exploit that. Always want to be a little bit more site heavy in this format because you just don't have the utility to hold.
No, you're just taking note of what is in their spawn. As for what's on the site already, the Nano Swarm being popped. See, the head's being popped as well. Amy taking Sarah clean out. Still the alarm bot is there and available for G2.
It's the double layered utility from both of these anchors as well, which have already softened the Shopify side. Players waiting in the wings to get involved. G2 heavy on the mid presence, which was initially shown by the opposite team. Rescue forced to fight by herself, and fight she will. Floor takes her down. A 1-for-1. G2 still have the advantage and have corralled the Rebels into an A take.
Yeah.
Their hands are tied.
Shopify, they just don't want any of the heat that's been put towards their back. Now forced in towards A. G2 have corralled their forces this time as and well, Shopify completely stopped in their tracks. You shall not pass. And Mel, 8 seconds and 1 player left. Just as you begin to wind down, Mel winds up. It's chasing cat and mouse stuff as the clock will tick out. That is insane, but it's still a G2 round.
And still left speechless once it finishes. Kill does get picked up. Vanya does close. The time had already done that for them. The 6th player on the G2 side of the server. But you can't say that it doesn't come from what we already saw in the early stages of the round. Talk about Shopify being under the heat. Will they bend? Will they break? Mel certainly seems to think that there's still a chance in the dying embers.
Hey, that is just mental. Absolutely. Petra pushing the limits. We've seen this before.
Talk about needing a moment between maps. They'll barely get a second here. Sarah straight at it. Players swinging in from the zip lines as well. They can get the spike down here, and honestly, for a second round, that's the objective secured. Now they're going to be hungry for any other scraps that are given.
Yeah, the players are still playing a bit more further back. And that's the thing though, what do they have? Is there mollies being bought up? Because Shopify could have a really good post plan here.
Yeah, the plant is open and they do have Sheriff, so it can get dangerous. And Alexis already repurposing the Bulldog, gets the first. They are playing from behind the wall now though.
They are, that's the issue. Up close and personal, the Spectre works best. Taking the head clean off, but it's on the spike you need to deny. It's up to Noya now, and the head's collected. Second not getting a chance. Petra is low, but Noya is lowered 6 foot under. It will be the anti-eco converted, but not without losing so much for G2.
Petra down, but not out. And G2 carry on to find another round. The cost of that is, though, they've conceded a spike plant. Shopify are going to get all of the purchases that they could possibly dream of in a third round such as this. And whereas G2 were able to snowball things forward, the same cannot be expected of Icebox.
Pings towards middle. An idea for Shopify to send themselves under tube and towards the B site. That will give B main though to G2.
You can see what the game plan is of Shopify Rebellion here as well, creating that mid pressure. Sure, there's a turret on watch, but it's not going to catch anything until they've already reached tube. And then you've got to think about how isolated some of these players are in sight. Mel tucked in the corner, probably wants the fight on Res Q, elevated angle, but I don't think either player really expects to walk into each other just yet. Mel should have the jump, and she did for a moment. Rescue can't finish her dinner though.
And it looks as if Shopify are coming in to feast. The rest of the players here to support Mel. Only on 2 HP. They do not want to give up the Viper because that would mean the wall is down permanently for this round.
Vanya has so much utility to stop them in their tracks, but it's Fluorescent from up high with an aerial assassination. Sarah in close proximity, another kill picked up for her. 5 on 2. G2 Gozen didn't have the guns to come into this one, and now with what they've got left, have to try and find something extra.
Flawless round is what Shopify are looking for. Not one to give anything else away. It's about the next round that they'll probably be looking for, especially with 5 on board.
And there is a tag from Petra. Amy unable to recover a rifle or anything of the sort. Sits in Snowman, off angle held, ready for the players that start to move in. Kill onto Sarah, clean fight, but Fluorescent skews it in her favor on the repeat. Well played from Shopify to get their first locked in here on Icebox. Nice and early, very different from what we've just seen.
Yeah, much different from Lotus. And on Icebox, you'll be looking at that attacker side to be so much more favourable.
And it's that much more important that they get it here as well, because, cool, it's nice to have a couple of close opening rounds, but we want binary results. And the fact that they have locked in that first round here as well has already set the foundation that they will need to build into, because it is the series which ultimately evades them at this point in time.
Again, the same game plan from Shopify, if that's what the pings mean on the map. An early turret for Neuer to take contact on 8. Vanya will be able to destroy it and pick up the orb as well. Again, that same game plan coming through.
I mean, the Killjoy turret, an extension of body and mind almost. And G2 making another extension on A. How many times did they do this against Giant X, where they put players up close? It was Petra on the jet before. Rescue, the typical Tailwind pick, is here and still yet to use that utility. So from Nest can really cause an issue or two. Now Mel starting to lurk through the middle of the map. Amy with a very deep turret does spot it out.
Oh, and spotted Mel out. No more Viper for this round. No more Mollies. No more Wall. No more Alexis. Rescue pushed into an awkward position. Fair enough, Spike will be felled, but already the damage has been done.
Into the jaws of her opponent. Quick trade. Shopify still favored on this side of the map because the rotation hasn't come through just yet. The wall can cause an issue to dissuade, but Sarah still picking up the kills with Neuer at her side. The Killjoy mirror matchup shattered, all on Petra to be the difference maker! And she will! Gozen in this house, they bring it down!
We've already seen Petra with crazy 3Ks. I mean, she might have not won the round yesterday, but she'll win the round today. That is absolutely brilliant from Petra.
How many times have we seen her do stuff like this in this competition? And not to be that guy, but the eldest leading by example as well. Showing everyone else in the server what she's capable of and taking this one into her own hands. I mean, you think about some of the experienced players on the G2 side and the effect that they've had. It was Mimi last time which really stepped up when they played against each other in the upper bracket in 2022 from that core that we're thinking about. They did lose, of course, in the upper final last time though, and you didn't see those same kind of performances, but here, a whole lot different. G2 getting absolutely everything going their way.
Yeah, and they continue to march on, has it? That's the thing. I mean, with everything going G2's way and Shopify's minds, has it? You've got to start to build the bricks, or at least not allow the bricks to build up. You think towards the last map and the opportunities that they had there. Now, here, that should have been a Shopify round.
Another tone setter on a round like that. Shopify Rebellion back towards B, but the rotation is just so swift by G2. The full Gozen clan is prepared for this one. The lockdown will confirm it. It's heavily telegraphed and G2 are ready to pick up the phone.
Amy, well aware of what Mel wants to do. It happened in the last round and it was Amy that came out strong. Just steps away from the angle and takes Mel out again. Massive stuff from the 19-year-old up against such an experienced player. Talk about young players. It's Vanya that takes out Sarah this time round. An advantage towards G2.
Such a huge kill from Amy in middle. Holds things down. You can't beat her twice. And Vanya getting the better. Holding up her end of the deal in the Phoenix duel. We're seeing in these mirror matchups right now, G2 on the front foot. The flank is where this one could conclude. Players don't want to overcommit because Rescue is there and waiting, collecting the last couple and forcing a fourth for G2.
I mean, what more can be said? Mel's tried the same thing twice and fell to the same player holding the same angle. You can't fool G2 twice. Shame on you, Shopify Rebellion.
Shame on you indeed. Still, you can't write them out. And that's the part that constantly eats away at the back of your brains. Playing against a team such as this, both of them can do it to you on a dime. Mel through middle once more. Turret taken down. Amy watching over it, but she sees nothing, and that's all the confirmation that G2 need to start getting active elsewhere. Look how far they've already moved up B.
They have been moved up B. Shopify really putting an importance of every round having a player in mid. This time it's going to be Sarah. SQ's already taking the contact on A. Shopify need to accelerate now onto the east side if they want this to be their hit.
Turret gone, an alarm bot recalled. A key detail that Kitchen opens up. A chance for this flank to be exploited, but the same goes both ways. Shopify, Neuer, calling the rest of her team to help in this endeavor. The flash comes out, as do the players. Mimi on a decent angle, but dealt with. Petra on a trade, and that's where they disengage.
Yeah, trade's going to come through Sarah here. Although it should do. It's a little bit dangerous. Overhealed up to 150, 150. The Vandal in hand.
Rough around the edges, but still not quite onto the B site. Sarah needed to survive a little longer because the rest of the team now may struggle to make their reprisal. Wall up, pit available, and a run it back if they want to chase a fight, which they might need. The lockdown's in play. There are some big ults. This counts for so much.
Yeah, but look at the time, Hazard. The spike needs to be committed, and it is. Shopify Rebellion will be pushed far off, all the way to yellow. They can't hold on to the spike just yet.
In terms of the pit, it hasn't yet been committed. Mel waiting to take her time, and it comes in at the opportune moment. Fluorescent blades drawn, everything put on the line. When the chips are down, G2 have looked to step up so far, but this one may be out of their control. Alexis has got it under wraps. That's her first. Rescue dropping in, however, has made all the difference, given the numbers to the G2 side. Mel, at a snail's pace, slows it down. A clutch for control from the controller, the captain, creating something for Shopify here.
Listen, Melgaib, if you're going to put it on anybody's hands, it has to be the leader. It has to be the Oracle, the Prophet from NA. I mean, a majestic clutch from them. The spike ticking away. I mean, you can see the decisive moments to invest in the pit after the lockdown's gone, knowing that you can get it further forward to cover that spike.
Really well read, and bringing them down into a situation where she is favored. That's Shopify territory. She's used to the rules it brings. Still, not the most perilous of situations. Shopify Rebellion can still recover. G2, a lot more prerogative put on mid this time around, and Amy forced to give up her sight and wait for the rest of the team for the take back.
Look where the spike's planted, elevated. This is for the lineups, and already you can see the orb, but it's not hit the way that it should do. G2 in, Rescue takes out the opposite number. There goes Floor. Alexis now trying to take more than what is necessary, and is punished for it, Hazard.
That's where the numbers come in for Gozen. The Samurai on the charge. Right at the front of it is going to be Vanya, but she's lost to the wind. Mel and Neuer both getting involved, and it all falls apart around them. Neuer dishing out damage the Dane, while Mimi may have been the first Danish player to win a Game Changers Championship. She's not the last. That is Neuer, and she makes her mark.
Yeah, I mean, the Danish duel will not finish here, has it? Still plenty of more rounds, 4-3. And the game will have a short momentary pause as we look to, I think it's Petra that's actually having issues here. You can see on your screens.
Yeah. Plenty of rounds that we've seen from her be the difference maker. So I think it's important, of course, that all of the gear is working. That goes without saying. But just to rein it back in for a second here.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I wanted to talk about has us Fluorescent back on the jet. Not something that we have seen so much in this tournament, but is such an iconic pick for Floor.
It's starting to look like vintage stuff from her as well, because you look at the Duelists which she has played across the board, you have to be dialing in some of that comfortability in the crisis they find themselves in a couple maps down. look at the statistics, 52% is when Jet's coming in, but for the maps that they've played, not really the case. She's been, you know, on the Flove, the floor clove as we've seen before. Yeah. And I mean, some of the other names, having played all of the Duelists, only 1 ISO on record, 2 on Phoenix. You don't get that many choice picks.
No, you don't, especially when you would be allowed to pick other categories of agents, you know. You're probably looking, as you already mentioned, the double walls and that.
And you want her on her strongest suit. You're 100%. Not going to be conceding one of those slots on a choice pick, like I said before. So if the glove fits, which it does, then get her on the Jet.
Right. What else is that you would want for on it? I mean, made their name on it, you could argue, especially, I mean, back when Haven was in the map pool, man, the crazy knife plays you would see on there.
Yeah, I mean, man, just any time you start a sentence with back when Haven was in the map pool, I start to get this bubbly, warm feeling inside. So, Riot, if you're listening, make the right move. Please. You know, bring us home, bring us home. But a little bit of floor lore as we've hit a pause here. Okay. Something that people may not know. We spoke a little bit before about teams and players, specifically from Game Changers, being in challenges. Did you know that she was actually registered as Hukar's 6th player in their 2022 Northern European campaign?
There you go. I mean, of course, it had to be Bodok, you know?
Yep, there we go. Bodok gets his mention. And hey, look, as a substitute player on 100 MS, I still don't doubt that she would be popping heads. And it's good that we're starting to see a little bit more of that now. But everything aside, there are 9 other players in the server and rounds to be played. G2 with a monopoly on ult into this, and already you start to see them invested. The A site must be defumigated if Shopify Rebellion fancy their chances.
G2 are stinking up the gaff. Shopify do not want to go anywhere near it.
I love how you're probably the only commentator that can get away with one. Like that, sorry. Not talking about you actually stinking up the gaff.
Let's hope I don't.
Don't know how I'd manage it. Yeah, Rescue could be in for a stinker here. Mel, the other Viper player, is right beneath her. Not the first time we've seen this fight. And she says, oh, hang on a minute, another free kill? No! Rescue quicker off the mark this time. And Alexis through middle. It's a pivot on the play.
Yeah, but look at them. Shopify, they're trying to invest the site, but it's not to be advised, considering what G2 are able to do.
All on Sarah. What can she do here? Opening up a big gap. Nailing in additional pressure towards Spawn's side. The map has flipped. G2 Gozen access to everything else that they would want out of the A rotation. Alexis confirms that. And stuck underneath the tube. It feels like the boy who lived under the stairs. How are you going to get out? It is a hopeless situation.
Well, like the boy that lived under the stairs, there needs to be some spells, some magic for G2 to get back onto the site, back onto the spike.
You are running into Shopify Rebellion site, into a brick wall. This one doesn't take you to a train station. It's a one-way ticket to a level scoreline.
I mean, has something I just wanted to know. It's been so uncharacteristic of Mel to give away these first engagements to G2. And I mean, it's the Viper of all players. A little bit scrappy. Shopify will come out on top. But still, one to keep a note on. If the Viper keeps going down on the attack, that one, that's going to stop the angles being diced up when you're facing G2.
Noya getting close to a lockdown of her own. Amy slowly building towards it. Shopify Rebellion now feeling a lot better about the A play, but G2 want numbers here. They're putting bodies on the line and they're dropping them in their way. Petra, Rescue, both combining, but still not done.
Still, they got the advantage and dipped away, not allowing Shopify the chance to come back into this one. But at the same time, Mimi is trying to introduce themselves on the flank. While the lockdown ticks away, Mimi gets closer and closer to this A site.
At the same time, though, the lockdown means that Shopify Rebellion are expecting players to be pushing those backlines a little bit more, right? There's only so far that you can possibly get, and she's been halted in her tracks. There's a turret watching the flank. The players through spawn, CT side, need to get to work before this has any relevance in what's going on. But finally she becomes pertinent, and with the Killjoy gone, the floodgates are open.
Yeah, you're going to start to panic on the site, but Shopify Rebellion, they will not. And a 2 versus 1, of course it has to be Mel. Has to be the captain, the leader. This needs to be legendary with only 25 points of HP, using the second molly up the delay, not going to be working in their favour. The spike being halved and Rescue just holds on towards Rafters. Well read and well won.
Unbelievable stuff from G2 in the 1v2. 26 points of health between the two of them. And it's Mimi, which eats up most of hers to get on towards the spike to really increase the threat levels there, and Rescue will finish off the job. So, you know, it felt like maybe the spawn side of the retake hadn't held up their end of the bargain, but everything coming up trumps for G2 in the end.
Rescue with the operator again. That was something that was used to hold down B. This time it's on the A side. A different...
The triad of the first 3 duelists that come into Valorant are the first 3 that want the fight. It's Rescue with the operator that lands the first blow, and that's more than enough. They are happy to disengage, to fall back to a deeper sight hold, double up on the angle. No, Vanya's gone walkabout and punished for her curiosity.
Oh, but look at Alexis and Sarah trying to take more space. Mimi is going to come in at the right time with a swivel round. Petra collects. Almost guaranteed an advantage, but they'll be guaranteed even on the next half.
Oh, that's a round which, again, just makes you scratch your head just a little bit by both teams. Sure, G2, they get the early pick. It looks really good. They drop back to the site. Vanya goes by herself. Shopify carry on moving forward. Wasn't expecting it, but straight through the setup, they get eaten alive. And with G2 having already found 6 rounds, up against a mixed buy here, you've got to be favoring them to maximize their advantages.
Of course. But at the same time, though, we know the quality that both teams have, and at any moment, anything could be snatched away. Blaze to get Float online.
Sarah first in. As I said before, Curiosity killed the cat, but Sarah Cat trying to see what she can dig her claws into. Fluorescent has drawn blades and is towards the top site here as well, but that position is short-lived. Nice couple shots out of Shopify though. That is the equalizer that they needed, but like you say, Mel's on an island, but she's dug herself out of trouble still.
It's big. Petra, though, getting rid of the run it back. Alexis is still alive and available. Well, the Blaze will looks to dice up the ankles. It's the players that are being diced up themselves. Vanya now running it back them into B-Long. Alexis taken out by Petra, and now Vania can just hold down on the spike. Neuer trying to delay, deny, use the nano swarms, use your utility, but it's the Sheriff that they need to get to work. Shorty up close and personal. Petra gets rid of them.
Perfection from Petra. She played it just exactly as you had to, because Vanya had no time on her side, no health, nothing to go with it, and even down to her final few bullets, the Dutch duelist gets it done. Round the corner with a shorty to stop it out, to stab the dying embers. A 7th locked in, and sure, against choice weaponry on the Shopify side, they will retaliate with rifles.
They have to. But this is the last hurrah for this half, has it?
Shopify could soon find themselves 1 half away from their first loss in Game Changers since the end of last year. Mimi looking to get another win against her fabled opponents, but goes down immediately, and with that, the B site collapses.
Big loss, Mimi going off the board, because again, just to talk about agents, Hazza, that's the Viper gone.
And as we said before, it's not just the duelists, but those around them. Rescue demands the attention for herself, however. The Blades here to dissect for the defense, and she will. Damage dealt on Sarah. Shut down, 4 versus 2, lockdown available, and Amy ready to invest.
Easily. And now trying to get the numbers back on their side and does so. Vania gets the trade easily enough, but tees up Neuer for a chance to win out, a chance to clutch, and here it is. There goes one, but the spike being half. Nano swarms straight on, and Vania trying to find the fight. 1 versus 1. Tuck versus Dane, and it's Vania that wins it out this time. 8-4 G2. They'll lead by 4 rounds.
2 clutches back-to-back, which Neuer finds herself in, and well, maybe she was dealt a bad hand in the first. Every chance there to lock in a 5th, which feels like a minimum for Shopify. Now onto their defense. They've got to bring the brawl to their opponents, to the former world champs who are looking to usurp the throne from them.
I mean, if you're gonna bring a Rebellion to EMEA, you have to be better than the Monarchs that hold it. G2 have been so good since they've dropped into this lower bracket.
Immediately, they are ready to set the pace, to draw the sword and the blood that goes with it. You can wash away the blood, Shopify, but if you don't seal the wounds, you will continue to bleed. Nothing yet stemmed. Mel knows about it though. The alarm bot will confirm it. Players in her wake, and the utility can shut it down for now.
Delay coming through from Shopify to allow everyone to get into position, but Amy denying that opportunity. There goes Sarah.
A kill on the backline's costly. Shopify Rebellion, advanced positions, but a headshot onto Alexis. She's got to use her molly to heal back up if she doesn't want to use it as another component of how this defense is going to function. They are running through the utility here, G2.
Yeah, they used the Lear to bait out that they were going towards A, but as Shopify begin to gamble on the B site, everyone being called over. Mel all on the lonesome in the orb, and actually just investigating.
And this is where the penny will drop. Alexis is on the flank, spotted out. Mel taking Jules by herself, but can't do it. Vanya carrying this one forward. G2 setting the tone with another pistol. A 3-on-2 situation which they could convert. Spike, a little precarious, but it goes down nevertheless, and the post plant can get comfortable as Alexis's flank has come back around.
On towards the spike attack. Oh, did he bait out the peaks, but they're being baked themselves as it. And the pistol round is going to be pivotal for G2 as they continue to push the boat out more and more.
And when does Shopify Rebellion find themselves ashore back across the Atlantic Ocean empty-handed? That's looking like the situation that we're going to be in sooner rather than later. Sheriffs again, no force. Nothing to facilitate it on the defender's side. A set of bad options put in front of them. You min-max what you can get, but still difficult to do.
Shopify taking things forward on the front foot, but it's G2 who are just holding on. And they're not even going that much farther forward. Just holding on, waiting for Shopify to make the mistakes in this tangle. A misstep already.
First player out of the picture. G2 Gozen, the ball in their court. But Shopify Rebellion want to get things rolling. A bad worksman would blame their tools, but short-handed once more, not even given the chance to look them dead in the eyes, and Rescue's already made her mark. A flank through middle, 3 players on spot, but G2 happy to give up this real estate with the utility that they've got. Mimi, both snake bites, and the nano swarm already off the puddle of pain.
Straight onto Rescue, but the rifle not good enough to spray the players down. The snake bite is though, and time ticking away. Shopify need to get a move on, and unfortunately, Wildflow's good enough. Everything working against them. Trying to spam out 45 points of HP. G2 suffocate any opportunities, and you can see Floor struggling to breathe. That is exactly the case. Double digits reached for your EMEA champions.
And on the NA side of things, it is looking bleak, but that glimmer of hope can begin now. Rifles in play. But as I say, this one could very much live and die on round number 15. You concede in 11th, you go into that with map series and championship points staring you in the face. Petra on a pistol, but other than that, G2 have everything they'd ask for.
And more. Run it back available if Vaniel wants to use it.
But surely you just tailor this push around it, I should say. She will be pathing through belt, so slightly different than the usual, and there are players to fight her, but Petra goes first, jumps ahead in the queue, can't wait to seize some silverware, and Petra, again, will not stop. That's 2 kills for her on the opener, and she's got the weakest gun of the lot.
Oh, and Rescue's even jumping in. It's the Stinger to help out. The players of Shopify are trying to brawl their way back into this round, but it's up to Mel, and she doesn't have a chance. 11, we are getting closer and closer to map and series point.
G2 on the warpath, and like you say, for a player such as Mel, you still have your reasons to want to win a tournament such as this. She's doing her best that she possibly can. You remember, the Game Changers Championship had to watch her team hoist their first major trophy from the other side of the screen. This is her opportunity to get in on the act, to chance the celebrations. But that feels like a world away as G2 have carried on where they left off from map to map. We've seen nothing from Shopify, just the one that they got from the uppers.
Only one singular player here for Shopify on the A side of the map. It's Neuer. There is reinforcements coming. They're gambling on this A side.
Petra on the prowl. From belt, she beckons the rest of her squad. But G2, not over-eager in a round such as this. They know the stakes. A low purchase and fluorescent on the blades. No bigger raid boss to try and go up against, but already they're making inroads to the site, and a lot of ground has been covered. Finally, the fight is there, and Fluorescent is down.
Yeah, but there is a trade back forth. 4v4, the numbers remain even. A jump out from Petra. Well, the curveball's hit, so does all of G2's shots. The spike still yet to go down, but Mel's walking into a wasteland. All of the teammates' bodies lie on the floor, and they're left to recover this round. It has to go up against 2, and Amy's already going to cut them down.
Oh, man. You look at the parallels on either side of the server. A player such as Amy, she's done her time, and now on the big stage, starting to shine against international players alike. A kill which puts them 1 away from claiming the Red Bull Instalock trophy. A full buy on both sides. Sure, there are a couple of gaps for Shopify Rebellion, but that seems to be the case today. Nothing has gone their way. It's all G2, and they are poised to take this one now.
G2, they start mostly towards the B side. Spike to be picked up, and Mel has an idea already dipping away on towards yellow.
Saren through middle. Information claimed. Lots of footsteps heard making the rotation over. Amy on the opposite extremity. Does she bite down? Is this a fight that she has the confidence to take? She does. Missed shots. Players peeking in. A brilliant double up from G2.
Yeah, and while that happens, Shopify begin to re-clear B long, just in case there's a lurker being left to tee up on towards the B site. It's not the case, which will leave Shopify really late towards the A side of the map.
Rotate coming in so late. Sure, you have one player towards the flank, but it's all CT. Left to our own devices. Neuer on spot. Mel will get the first, and the pick goes up. Plenty of utility in the face for this 4 versus 4. It favors G2 nonetheless. Not until Neuer has made her mark. A swift dismissal. And the spike not planted.
It's getting really claustrophobic on this site with a pit up. Not even allowed to get the spike down. You see Shopify have an answer at every avenue.
Nice wall as well from Alexis. Cuts things up, doesn't let anyone make the cross. G2 on the back foot. And Petra must pop her head out the pit if they want to try and collect something for themselves. Still not the safety to punch in the digits, and finally it should hit the ground, but not without damage dealt.
It's big damage as well. There is a chance to heal up, but it's not until there's an engagement to be taken and won.
Maybe around the box. Fully healthy, but taken down and the pit goes with it. Petra low and removed from the situation. 8 opportunities become 7 for Shopify. They are not out of this one just yet.
Yeah, you've got to remember the qualities that is there for the Shopify Rebellion roster. So many titles, so many accolades, and so much quality being held. Fair enough, they've been mostly at the back foot for this map and well, maps previous. But at any moment in time, they can flick a switch. This is probably the best time to do it for them in terms of how the general map is being played out. We're right in the middle of the current ultimate cycle, especially for Shopify Rebellion. One off of a lockdown and so many available to use.
Pit, run it back. Consolidation or reclamation, whatever you want. You have your pick of the litter if you're Shopify Rebellion. After not spotting anything A early, it's a reposition from Mel towards Rafters. She'll just be looking to deny backside here.
Yeah, I think Shopify are actually just starting to play more retake. That's what happened in the last round. Worked so well for them.
Something to increase heart palpitations of the Shopify faithful, of which I know there's many. They've delved into enemy territory many times before and no different in EMEA. Well supported wherever they go. In terms of this round, though, big ults committed. They've already showed absolutely everything here, Shopify. And with G2, Amy in towards Kitchen. She does get taken out.
Yeah, but it's a foot race towards the B side. It'll be Shopify there first, but not all of their numbers. Just Sarah and Noya to hold this down by themselves.
G2 very quickly highlighting where the possibility for a puncture is. A chip on the shoulder. A run it back of their own puts Vanya so far forward. Flash onto Sarah. Death's door, but not quite done.
Rescues is the one that is going to finish it off, though. Quickly traded out. Advantage still stays within Shopify Rebellion's hands, but there's a spike that needs to go down as time ticks away. 20 seconds.
Not low with the lockdown. She would love to use it and maybe forced to in this situation. Petra's found her first and she is looking for more. Molly chops in and it kills her off. Neuer is gone in a 3 versus 2 and at the drop of a hat, G2 are in prime position to take it all home. Not unless Fluorescent has something to say.
I mean, that's exactly what you'd expect. An argument at every opportunity by Floor. Doesn't want to be bow down, fill the knee. 2 players from G2 are out on long and they'll win it out. Your champions of Instalock, your Monarchs has a deny the Rebellion from NA.
Shopify had their chance to sit on the throne, but it may be short-lived. G2 come back in the rematch, which they never received, to win the series straight out, a whitewash, 3 maps in a row. And even the star player at the end not able to do enough in the clutch. The silverware is theirs, and on EMEA home turf, it is defended once more.